This is an imaginary opening theme song. Oh. Why, hello there. Did you know that if you say pickles 3 times, $10 will just magically appear in your hands? You don't believe me? Well, just trust me, bro. Trust me. You know, I saw it from someone, and then, you know, they said you can prove it this way, and then I totally did what they told me to do, and, you know, it works, you know, trust me. Do you think I'm lying to you? Perhaps I am. You know. Today we're gonna react to a video which is titled "This Fake Blindfold Speedrun Fooled Everyone." But in case you don't know what's been happening over like the past few weeks, this is a small recap before I go on and react to the video, okay? So basically, Monster Hunter World streamer called Queen Ponzola decided that it might be a fun idea to record a blindfold run, you know, for her community and whatnot, you know, just to have a different thing for slaying a boss that she has slain over 4,000 times and whatnot. She thought it might be a, you know, nice pace of change, right? So she did the video. Then someone from her community went and took it and posted to Asmongold's Reddit. And then once there, he saw it and then he reacted to that video. And since he reacted to that video, it got a bit more traction than, you know, what it would have gotten and whatnot. And when I say a bit, I mean a lot more. And then a lot of people that actually know how blindfold runs actually, you know, work, they went into looking into the video and seeing that a lot of stuff was not aligning with what a blindfold run should look like. So there was a lot of sus moments for them. And so, you know, one of them decided to make a video calling out her that what she did is complete fake, you know, and these are some of the reasons why, you know, I believe this is a fake run. And then after that video happened, a few days after that, with a much more different setup, she decided to upload another video posting that she did another blindfold run for the same boss. Just her setup was a bit more different. This time 2 cameras, one was showing her face, the other one was showing her hands on her keyboard. And then she also touched on a few points that the video that was calling her run fake mentioned sometimes, and then she pointed out, you know, this is actually the answer why, this is actually the answer why, to this and this and this, just, you know, to give herself a bit more credibility, right? And then you know, the person who's gonna watch now, Carl Job said, you know, hold up, you know, like, just, her blindfold runs are definitely fake, but in order to explain how they are so fake, I need to make a separate video, and then that dropped on February 29th, and now we're gonna react to that. So that was the small lore, if in case you missed what was happening throughout a few weeks, because all this didn't happen like in 1 week. It happened over a few weeks. It's, you know, time. But yeah, let's go and watch the video, shall we?
Hello, you absolute legends. Last month, the streamer known as Queen Ponzolot pretended to beat the dragon Alatreon wearing a blindfold. This garnered her quite a lot of attention, but when people experienced with the game she was playing and those experienced in blindfold speedrunning saw her video, they realized immediately it was fake. Unfortunately,
yeah, see, like, this is the first blindfold run she did, and she had like 4,193 kills on this boss that she did a blindfold run on. And this was the first video that Asmongold reacted to.
Unfortunately, Queen Ponzolot's effort of faking a blindfolded run was extremely poor. Not only was she using strategies that are just flat out impossible to use while blind, but the blindfold she was using was so thin and obviously fake, even we, the viewers, could see straight through it. Soon enough, people were making videos calling out her fake run, and Queen Ponzolot was beginning to get quite a lot of negative attention. As it turns out, the public doesn't appreciate liars, and people who try to fake gaming accomplishments.
I mean, yeah, people do tend to not like liars and whatnot, and stuff, you know. Yeah, you might get some negative attention if you are faking a blindfold run. Indeed.
accomplishments for clout. After receiving backlash, Queen Ponzelot fought back, announcing that she was going to do another blindfolded run of the Dragon Elatreon, but this time with more proof. On the 14th of February, she went live.
So this is, like I said, this was the more elaborate setup she had. Like, she had her hands on the keyboard and whatnot. Like, this was one of the one, and the other one was there. I watched this one where her kills are much more, by the way, went up like maybe 500 and so and whatnot, right? By the amount of time she went and did this video, apparently. But anyways, you know, the thing is, though, I watched this, and she was very more animated when she was doing this blindfold run. Like, I think if, you know, I actually could lip read properly, I think she keeps saying F you to a few people. And when just her mouth was moving way more, you know, when she was all like, yeah, you know. I don't know. No one pointed that out, but, you know. Lip reading is hard, okay? Sometimes you believe you can lip read, sometimes you can't. So I don't know what to tell you. But it felt like she was saying that, so, you know, I'm not saying that she did, though. Obviously, it's just my assumption.
Live, and she was stacked to the gills with ironclad anti-cheat measurements. This time she wore a genuine blindfold. She had a hand cam. She had input display. She had paper covering up her monitors. And she was live. Surely there was absolutely no way she could cheat. And with all of this in place, she did it again.
You can
she
see
beat the Dragon Elatreon in front of hundreds of people.
Well.
She was so convincing that it seemed like everyone now believed she was legit.
But anyway, yeah, it looks like the Altreon blindfold kill was actually real. It did actually happen.
Maybe we got it wrong. Maybe Queen...
I like that in the... Like, he did 2 videos so far on this subject, right? Like, the first one he, you know, called Asmongold basically a sweet summer child for being fooled by her blindfolded run anyways. And then whenever he says everyone believed it, he again showed Asmongold reacting to it and whatnot. So yeah, when he says everyone, he means, like, you know, a certain people believed it, you know, or at least gave her the benefit of the doubt, because, like, surely someone that went to this much you know, trouble to, like, set stuff up this much, right? Surely they wouldn't fake it this time, right? You know, I mean, it's not like it takes a lot of stuff to fix this up, you know. It looks like she had the equipment beforehand, but still, you know, it's a little bit more effort than the other one. So, you know, surely, you know, the more effort run would be more legit, right?
Ponzelot was just more gifted than everyone else, and she could really do things blindfolded that no one else could. Or maybe, just maybe, she just cheated again, and we don't know how. Honestly, when I first saw her new successful attempt, I didn't know how she did it. But I did know 2 things. 1, her gameplay was impossible to do blind. And 2, people always underestimate the autistic power of speedrunners. I was committed to finding out how this was done. I envisioned sophisticated cheating methods that would be impossible to detect. I figured that whatever Queen Ponzelot did must be pretty genius to fool everyone so easily. For 3 days, I meticulously studied her video. I worked with experts to clarify game mechanics. I spoke with programmers to see if we could replicate her run using advanced software, but I was getting nowhere. And then, after 72 hours of running into dead ends, I finally saw it. I noticed that Queen Ponzelot did something that gave everything away. The curtain was lifted, and the magician had exposed her secrets. I had the smoking gun, and within 20 minutes of seeing Queen Ponzelot do this one thing, we knew exactly how she did it, and we had the proof. As it turns out, I was on the wrong track the entire time. I thought the method she used must have been smart because no one detected it. But in the end, it turned out to be the simplest and dumbest method I could have imagined. In this video, I'm going to tell you.
I mean, before we get to what he's gonna say, because this is the first time I'm watching this, hey man, you know what they say, you know, sometimes the answer is much more simpler than what you make it out to be, and sometimes, you know, this more simple answers are the easiest ones to get away with, you know. And you know how sometimes people have a very hard time to like solving simple questions because they look at it from like so many different angles, because they're all like, surely the solution cannot be that simple to this thing, right? Surely it has to have some kind of weird like whatever in it, right? Like surely it can't just be this, right? But usually, yeah, it can be. Sometimes, you know, it's easier to fool someone when you don't go like the complicated road. It's also the same when, you know, sometimes people lie, and they're all like, you know, just keep your lies simple so you can like keep track of them easier. Like the more elaborate your lie is, the more you're gonna most likely get caught faster and whatnot, you know. I know this is not a good example. Well, that's what it reminds me of, you know. Perhaps that's what happened and whatnot. I don't know. But also I wonder who is the mastermind? Like, did she just think of this herself? Or what, did someone tell her, okay, if you cheat like this, you know, then people won't even think about this because it's so simple. You know? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it doesn't really matter whose idea it was, right? And you're putting yourself in a position where you are basically trying to fool people because you're faking a blindfold run. So either way, it's not a good look for you, even if it was not your idea. Well, let's see what she did, shall we?
You exactly how Queen Ponzelot faked her most recent blindfolded takedown of the dragon Elatreon, and I guarantee that you'll be shocked at just how many things she did to try and fool you. I really hope you enjoy.
Okay.
Legends, let's be honest. If you're watching my channel, it's because you are a gigantic nerd. I'm a huge nerd, you're a huge nerd, that's just the way it is. And as nerds, there is nothing more important or fulfilling than having a really good gaming PC, which is why you should invest in a PC from today's sponsor, Starforge Systems. Starforge makes things super easy, especially for people like me who don't know how or just don't want to build their own PC. They offer amazing pre-built PCs at all different price points, so if you go in with a certain budget, you know you're going to get the best you can for your money. Starforge PCs are used by tons of your favorite creators, including myself. They are built by hand in Austin, Texas by experienced builders. They look
also, it's pretty funny that, you know, how the word nerd and the image of one changed so much throughout, like, a few years, right? Because, like, before in sitcoms and whatnot, right? They would always show, like, the nerds, like, the ones with, like, these glasses that didn't really suit them, like, the clothing that didn't really look anything that good or something, or, you know, just, like, you know, people making fun of nerds, right? Especially later on, it did change a bit. Like when you say nerd now, you might envision people that just like play games more, you know, and don't necessarily have like glasses on, but just like to geek out on stuff and whatnot. I think the imagery changed quite a bit. Yes, indeed. That has nothing to do with this, but just saying.
Look beautiful, and they run smoothly. Plus, they are reliable, coming with a full 2-year parts and labor warranty. I rely on my PC for absolutely everything, including this YouTube channel. My standards are extremely high. I need something powerful, and I need something quiet. And the PC I got from Starforge Systems was literally everything I could have asked for. Please get yourself a PC you deserve. The link to Starforge Systems will be in the description. Go and check out their PCs today. In my previous video, we looked at Queen Ponzelot's earlier blindfolded runs, where she used a really thin, transparent sheet of material to cover her eyes and pretended that she couldn't see. In this case, it was so easy to debunk because everyone can just use their own eyes and see that her blindfold was fake. As far as her gameplay was concerned, it's also really obvious that she can see as well. She claims to use the audio to know exactly where the monster is, but years of blindfolded competition tells us that this is impossible. I also highlighted that beyond knowing where the monster is, it's also impossible to detect whether you are looking up or down. So if you see a blindfolded player using their mouse to look up or down, you know they can see. In her latest attempt, we see all of those impossible gameplay mechanics in action.
Yeah, because technically, why would anyone need to, like, you know, have their camera set up in a position, right? Like, where they, like they can constantly see the boss as if they're not blindfolded, quote unquote. So yeah, well, it's always strange when, you know, if you don't have a wonky looking boss fight, are you really blindfolded sometimes, right? Although they did point it out before as well that you can disable the thing where you can like look up and down, and that might help you do your run a bit easier, so you don't have to worry about that or something. Like there is a setting like that, but carry on.
Once again, and in some cases it's even worse. She will access the menu in order to use items and mess up the camera, and then immediately and perfectly fix it. She even does this when the dragon is not making any sounds at all, so there is quite literally no audio cue, like in this example. Beyond the impossible vertical movement, we also see crazy head tracking in real time that is just laughable. I mean, just look at this gameplay.
Yep, very accurate. Although I feel like sometimes she does like try to fumble to prove that it is real, you know? You know, like
in
sometimes...
the last clip, she is rolling...
Like, you know, sometimes when she swings her sword and she actually doesn't hit anything and there's empty space. It doesn't happen too often, but I think that happens sometimes to, like, try to sell it, that she, you know, the blindfold is legit. Quote unquote, but, you know.
Underneath the dragon, keeping the camera on its head perfectly as she does it. It's hilarious. And remember, looking up does nothing. It doesn't let her hit any higher, so there is literally no point in doing this other than to see the head, which makes no sense if you're blindfolded. All of this seems very confusing because she appears to be wearing a proper blindfold. And as I mentioned before, her monitors are even covered up with paper, meaning that she can't see them anyway. This led me to consider other ways she might be playing without seeing. One way would be some kind of aimbot. Aimbots are common in many games, so it's possible if she had some kind of sophisticated software, it could help her aim on the dragon. This would solve the problem of locating the dragon.
Yeah, the never-ending aimbots, am I right, Overwatch? I mean, what? I didn't say anything. Although, you know, I did find it funny that she did cover up her monitors with, like, her name and the piece of paper and whatnot, but, like, she didn't press that to close them. Right? I found that funny when I watched it, because I think that's what she did. Like you can see that they're not closed, right? When she lifts it up, because it's not like she presses the button to open up her monitors as well. I mean, she could have possibly done that to sell the idea that she is blindfolded again. I don't know.
And also solve the vertical aiming issue. However, this wouldn't solve all of the problems, like being able to dodge attacks that don't have sound cues. In one instance, she accidentally hooks onto Alatreon's leg instead of its head, and immediately releases before targeting the head again. But there is no audible difference between hooking onto the leg or the head, so there is no way she should have known. In order to solve issues like this, I theorized that maybe someone was talking to her and giving her instructions through Discord. With someone in her ear and some aim assist software, you might be able to play like this without sight.
I mean, that could be a possibility, right? But there is slight lag, you know, even when you're playing the game normally with someone on Discord, you know, there is sometimes slight lag from what they're trying to tell you to do and what then you hear them doing, you know. So that's why sometimes the timing is a little bit off for some stuff, you know. I'm just saying. Also, you know, the funny thing is, right, even if you do listen to the sound cues and whatnot for, like, let's say boss fights and right, like, even if you do that, you don't really know where your position is, technically, like how far you are from the boss, I'm assuming, most of the time. So, like, even if you, like, go to the right place, you might be a little bit too late, you know? Like, that's what I assumed you would see a little bit more in a blindfolded run as well. Like, you being kind of late to, like, actually get to where you need to get to. Because, you know, you don't know how much distance between the boss and you don't have, like, something that can close the distance that fast. So you might miss the chance to hit the boss. You know?
I reached out to Monster Hunter World expert TSC, who actually developed the first known aimbot of the game. According to him, if she was using an aimbot to achieve this effect, it would require software far more sophisticated than anyone in the community currently possesses. It seems unlikely that this was the method. The most common theory I saw online was that she was using pre-recorded gameplay. Maybe she beat Alatreon earlier and just played that gameplay footage during her live stream. Something like this has been done before. I even made a video about a speedrunner who cheated by using a pre-recorded run during a live charity marathon. However, I didn't believe this was the case. Queen Pongelot had two cameras and they were both completely in sync. I studied her mouse movements and they always seemed to match what was going on in the game. And so did her keyboard inputs. Her mouse sensitivity was very high, so a lot of movements are hard to see, but I couldn't see any discrepancies. It did appear as though she was actually playing. In my opinion, this also ruled out the idea that someone else was playing instead of her, perhaps by using remote assistance. This is an idea that the YouTuber Abisoft spent some time investigating to see if it could work. But aside from her mouse movements matching her gameplay, latency issues would also be a huge problem. Some people suggested that she was using a magician's blindfold and she could see through it. But this is extremely unlikely. Her blindfold doesn't look like any fake blindfold I could find, and we know what blindfold she has because it was recommended to her. Blindfolded expert Mitris has the exact same one, and it looks exactly the same. One other thing people noticed, and trust me, we noticed this immediately too, is that after Queen Pongelot killed Alatreon and lifted the paper up, there was something on her screen. And it seemed like she noticed this and moved the paper back down to try and hide it.
I pause it. What is on the screen? And what is on the thing?
See what I mean when I told you that her screen was not closed? Like, if she wanted to sell it a bit more that this run was legit, she would have just closed the screen. Like, why do you need the screen open? You know, you don't need to open the screen to play the game if you're blindfolded, not. Huh?
Is Monster Hunter on her screen? And then watch what happens. She puts it back down to cover. She's quickly trying to hide it. And then the game comes back up on screen.
This is the Windows Start menu, and the reason it appeared is because she hit the Windows key. In fact, she hits the Windows key multiple times throughout her blindfolded attempts. This bugged the hell out of us, and we had no idea why she was doing it. Could this have something to do with how she was faking her gameplay? At seemingly random times, she would hit the Windows key, which would tab her out of the game. This caused her inputs to stop working. She would then need to hit the escape key to try and get back into the game. Watch this clip where she hits the Windows key and then spends 10 seconds trying to get the game to work again.
Okay. Yeah, she just stops. That is weird stop movement, yeah, indeed. Like, why would you ever have a problem
This
with
is
the game
bizarre,
like that?
and she does this multiple times without ever mentioning it. She acts as if this really weird thing that she is doing isn't happening, which is obviously really suspicious. Ultimately, it seems like this is some kind of unrelated tech issue that she was having with her eye tracker. Multiple times before she even started her blindfolded attempts, we can see her hitting the Windows key in order to fix something. She even mentioned it earlier in her stream.
We needed to fix the Toby.
But what you trying
I
to
think
fix?
this tech issue has nothing to do with her blindfolded attempts. But an important question to ask is, how did she know there was a problem? She was blindfolded and couldn't see, but knew there was some kind of technical issue and always tried to fix it. And she did all of this without looking, and without saying anything to her audience. It's all...
Yeah, like, wouldn't you try to be hitting your other keys before you would try to, like, see if there is a problem, or, like, you know, unless someone yells at you that there's a problem, you wouldn't know there's a problem, and would just keep on going on, like, normally, because it also doesn't seem like there's, like, the kind of, like, error saying error or something, you know.
really bizarre. In the end, however, after discovering the truth, I realized this was a giant red herring. After several days of brainstorming, I was
Usually is.
beginning to run out of ideas. But then, in the middle of the night, I revisited a question I had from day one. There was something that Queen Pwnsalot did that was really strange, and I couldn't figure it out. Immediately after she covers her main monitor with paper, while she is attempting to distract her viewers, she holds down her left mouse button for 10 seconds. This was actually one of the very first things I noticed when investigating her run, but I never had an answer as to why she did it. Normally, when you hold a button down for a few seconds, it activates something, and this was one of the reasons I thought she was using some kind of software. But I had overlooked something that was so obvious and so simple, I can't believe I didn't see it immediately. Once I understood what she was doing, it was game over. Holding her mouse button down for 10 seconds told me everything I needed to know. It unlocked all of her secrets. It revealed to me that there was in fact a third.
I still need to know why she's holding the left mouse button down for 10 seconds and then clicks the right mouse button. OMG, I think I know there is a third monitor. I mean, you know, a lot of people do have three monitors. That is true. That is true, you know. One day, hopefully, I'll have like at least 2 monitors set up in an actual PC, but you know, I don't know. Anyways, that's not that's not the point. So, a third monitor, huh? I mean, why else would you ever click on a button to make something happen?
Hidden
That's why
monitor.
we click buttons in the first place. Try to make something
Queen
happen.
Pwnsalot wants us to believe that she only has 2 monitors. When she covers them up, she makes sure to verbally state that her monitor on the left has all of her other stuff on it.
To the main attraction as we get our duct tape for our main monitor because, yeah. There's the other one. So you guys know. There it is. With all my other stuff on it. Boom.
This is a lie. In truth, she has a third monitor to her right, off camera. Before she covers it with paper, we can see that her main monitor has her OBS streaming software on it. This shows her gameplay, and it also has her Twitch chat docked into it as well. One thing that struck me as odd is how she decided to wait until her monitors were covered with paper before setting everything up. This makes no logical sense, and she even tries to act like this wasn't on purpose.
No problem. Alright, alright, cool. Now, alright. Oh god, I'm sorry, I didn't think this through.
I mean, wouldn't you normally take your character to the thing where you can, like, do the whistle, right? Before you finish covering up your monitors? Again, like I said, if you really wanted to sell this, you should have closed the monitors with the button. I'm saying. You know, also, the timing is off, yeah. I would agree on that, yeah. I mean, it's also totally possible that she could have like a third monitor right at the edge of it, right? Then we just can't see it because I mean the table looks kind of big. So yeah.
But the reason she did this is because she had to ensure that what she did was hidden from the camera. This is where the beauty of the input display comes in, because we can still see everything she's doing. But it's obvious she is trying to hide it. What she does next is very sneaky. She lifts up the paper on her main monitor, which has her OBS on it. She clicks on her OBS window and holds down the mouse key. Then, while she is holding down the mouse button, she distracts her audience with verbal diarrhea.
That's why we go through what we go through, right? You know? And it's the way that it has to be.
Yeah, just talking, basically.
Next is the key that I should have seen immediately. What is the most common thing you do when you hold down your mouse button? You drag windows. While talking, she drags her OBS to her hidden monitor on the right. We can confirm this with the input display. We can see her hand move it to the right, and she even looks at her hidden monitor on the right when she does this.
Yeah, what's there, girl?
That's why we go
Where are you looking at?
through, right? You know? And it's the way that it has to be. And,
she will use her OBS on the hidden monitor
didn't
to
stay
see
that
the
long
game.
on it, but yeah, she
Immediately
did look a
after
little
this,
bit.
she pretends to move the OBS to her left monitor.
All right. Move that over. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
She moves her mouse
that
to the left,
confirmation did
she
not take
looks
that
to the
long.
left, and she even says that she's moving something. However, we can see on the input display, she doesn't even click her mouse.
Well,
Move that over. Okay.
also
Now,
apparently
despite
she
the fact
did
her monitor
ban
on the
people
right
that
is supposed to be a
just asking her
secret, she
simple
cannot help but
questions.
stare at it constantly. She even responds to this exact message in chat while looking at it. However, mid-sentence she realizes how stupid this is and stops talking.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Everything will be unedited.
Yeah, where did
After
you see that
panicking
chat,
and
girl?
thinking for 10 seconds, she tries to fix this mistake and pretends she read the message from the monitor on the left.
Oh yeah. Everything will be unedited.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last thing you said? Unedited.
The funny thing about Queen Pongelot reading chat from her hidden monitor is that it's completely unnecessary. There is no need to have chat there in the first place, and it
Yeah.
just causes her to constantly look at it, making it obvious it's there. And
Basically, she kind of she's kind of, you know, ruined it for herself, honestly. Like, she can't not see chat, like, you know, like, I mean, right? If you're gonna attempt a blindfold run and you go through this much effort to like cover up your monitors, right? People are gonna assume you cannot read what they're saying anyways, and that, you know, your moderators would take care if there's any like problem comments and right now and whatnot, right? Like, people that are typing to you don't necessarily expect you to read their chat in the first place, since you went through all that trouble to show that you can't see your monitors, right? So like, you kind of doomed yourself here.
it also causes her to screw up by responding to it. I'm
You know?
guessing she just couldn't help herself, and she really wanted to see all of her fans talking about her as she was playing.
Yeah.
So we know that she has a monitor to her right, but how does she see it? Well, the secret is in how she's wearing her blindfold. She's wearing it very, very loosely. It's barely able to stay on her face, and on top of that, she wears it very high. This is not how you're supposed to wear a blindfold. Anyone who owns a blindfold like this knows you don't wear them loose, you wear them tight. If you wear
Well,
them
yeah.
loose, light gets in. By wearing her blindfold loose, she can see through a small gap between her nose and the blindfold. The gamer Juzzy has already replicated her exact setup. In his case, he showed his two monitors which he turned off, he wore a proper blindfold, he used the exact same input display, and he
Yeah, see, at least this guy did close the screen, so you know, it's a little bit more believable. The funny thing with this guy's video is, like, he put, like, this is a fake blindfold run in his, like, video, and he even says it in the video, and then some people thought he was trying to show that this is a real blindfold run, even though the guy said, like, and everything, right, that this is fake. But, you know, people can't read or listen most of the time. But what can you do?
He had a hand cam. With all of this, he also killed Alatreon in expert fashion.
Also faster, because he did in like less than 7 minutes when he showed his like time thing.
Here, he explains how he did it.
As you can see now, my monitors are off and I'm blindfolded, but despite my short-sightedness without glasses, I can clearly see these targets and shoot at them. And why is that? It's because there's a secret here. Right now, I'm wearing the blindfold, right? But I can see out the gaps between my nose and my blindfold, and if I wore it even looser, I'd be able to see out the sides left and right in my peripheral vision.
Oh,
Then the next step to the trick
even though you
is the fact
wouldn't
that
think that.
another thing you guys noticed, there's two monitors here, right? But they're not the only ones. There's a third
Yep.
monitor on my left.
On top of wearing her blindfold very loosely, Queen Pongelot
Okay, so it says, let's put me down here. Okay, there you go. She also scrunches up her face, which pushes her cheeks out to increase the size of the gap. Ah, I see, I see. Honestly, though, it's impressive how they can see. You know, even with that much obstruction to your face.
Also sits back in her chair and looks up in an unnatural way. This is to get a better viewing angle. Before her attempt with the new blindfold, she had spent around 1 hour playing with her old blindfold over multiple days and weeks. And for that entire time, she always sat like this. She was leaning forward and looking directly in front of her. This is because while her blindfold was partial...
Also, we can clearly see the light going through her blindfold. You saw that, right? Like a few seconds ago, there was like a flicker and then was like the light was just shining
obscuring her sight. She could see straight through it and was looking at the monitor directly in front of her. With the new blindfold, she can't see through the front of it, which is why she has now completely changed her sitting position so she can see down and to the side.
Makes
this
sense.
is not a normal way to sit, and world-class blindfold...
I mean, yeah, technically, her back should be more, like, on her chair if she's gonna, you know, just be playing, right? True, true. No need to have the shrimp pose if you're not using your eyes, right?
Blindfold speedrunner Bubsia confirms that when you see someone sitting in this position, it's a giant red flag.
And if I curve up even more, but that's already looking very sus, I guess, if you sit there like your neck breaking. If I sit like this, for example, I can see half of my monitor.
Oh, half is more than enough.
I can see OBS right now, literally.
Especially,
I can see the
you know, like
volumeters going up.
If you know what you're doing.
I can see the picture. If I turn a bit, I can see the other monitor.
And it's as simple as that. There is a hidden monitor on the right, and she is playing through her OBS, which she discreetly moved to it. I can't believe I spent so much time researching aimbots when the solution was so stupidly basic. And while it's so easy just to say there was a hidden monitor, which some people did, it's an entirely different story to provide concrete evidence.
True.
The fact that we can literally see her move OBS to the hidden screen, the fact that she reads chat from it, the fact that she stares at it constantly, the fact that she wears her blindfold so loosely, and the fact that she sits in such a weird position, all prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this is the way she cheated. But here is my favorite part. After she has killed Alatreon, and while paper is still covering her screen, she looks directly at the hidden monitor and moves the camera around perfectly. It's like she's not even trying to hide it. And beyond all of this, the simple fact remains, the way she played the game is impossible to do if you can't see. Now let's be real for a second. At the end of the day, this entire thing isn't a big deal. This is just silly, fun internet drama, and it's just really interesting to learn how Queen Ponsalot faked her blindfold runs. Personally, I'm not emotionally charged about this. I just love trying to expose video game fraudsters because I enjoy it. This whole back and forth is honestly really entertaining, but make no mistake, legitimately trying to do...
Yeah, I never know why that happens, so, yeah, so my screen just flickered for a while, so that's why there's like a short cut in between. Sorry about that. It's like, I don't know why that happens sometimes, but yeah, that's what happened.
Amazing things without the ability to see. Blindfolded gaming takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of ingenuity. And Queen Ponsalot keeps taking a giant steaming dump on all of their efforts.
Hang on. Hang on, just so you guys see the name as well. Yep, there you go. Okay.
Taking a giant steaming dump on all of their efforts. Because of her actions, people are going to trust the accomplishments of real gamers even less. Skepticism will disproportionately rise, and the public will become even more cynical. But on the flip side, maybe that's a good thing. The amount of people who threw common sense to the wayside and took her runs at face value is pretty shocking. Maybe people do need to be a bit more skeptical, and maybe this lesson was an important one to learn.
Yeah, maybe now people will be all like, you know, even if I see it, I won't believe it because, you know, at least maybe they'll think again the amount of belief they have when they see people do something. Sure, that's possible. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't believe everything you should not believe the stuff you see, you know, like it's so like I'm pretty but I am a negative person, you know. My side mostly, you know, like leans towards negativity, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in some positives at all. Like I do have some positive outlook and whatnot, you know. I do have some little hope depending on stuff. Like even in the beginning of this video, you know, I said like, oh, maybe one day I'll get a PC. And well, you know, I'm not completely, you know, utterly in the negative side, but I also do like, you know, the philosophy of Descartes. That's, you know, he says, you know, just keep on doubting till there is no doubt left. So, you know, maybe people will doubt a bit more from what they see, but that doesn't mean they'll never believe what happens and stuff like that. Plus, speed runs and blindfold runs and any kind of different kind of runs, right? Usually there will be people that will look at it with a lot of scrutiny, okay? Because not many people claim to do these stuff, or maybe there are more people that do claim to do these stuff, but that's exactly why people will then fine comb it and make sure that what you're saying actually aligns with what you're doing and whatnot.
Let me know what you think in the comments. I worked with a group of gamers who helped me do research for this video, including
Okay. Oh, you know, I was blocking a few of their names, so.
Let me know what you think in the comments. I worked with a group of gamers.
Okay. Well, at least people did respond to him, so that's good. You know? There you go.
Who helped me do research for this video, including the YouTuber Abisoft, who is also releasing a video about this most recent run. I know for a fact he is including many details I haven't mentioned myself, so if you want to learn even more, please go and check out his video as well.
Yeah,
the link will be
about
in the
how to
description.
cheat.
Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay, so you know what the most funny part is of this entire, you know, is her blindfold run legit? Is her blindfold run not legit? You know, the most funny part is, like, she did not have to keep on going back to doing this. Like, girl, you've killed this boss, like, more than 4,000 times. If you wanted to do, like, some kind of, you know, give your community a little bit different thing to look at, right? And not you trying to get the boss, like, every single time, right? You could have, like, easily done different kind of fun challenges to make it a different experience for the ones that watch it then, you know? Like, for instance, she could have hyped up her 5,000th kill on this boss, you know? Be all like, yeah, Chad, look at, this is gonna be, you know, us getting 5,000 kills on this boss, you know, give us the hype and whatnot, you know? Even, like, a simple thing like that, she could have, like, you know, did that, and that would have been fine as well, you know? Or she could have, you know, maybe issued a poll or like a redeem or like something in her chat where people picked a different weapon for her to try to kill the boss. Like, sure, it could have taken her longer to do it, right? Like, I don't know that much about the Monster Hunter weapons, Monster Hunter World weapons or anything, but they could have, you know, like, in order to troll her, right? Like, make her take maybe a more less effective weapon, you know, like something that isn't that easy to get the boss, because the Monster Hunter World bosses take a long time to take down sometimes, okay? Like, they have a lot of HP. You have to hit, like, different parts of their bodies and whatnot, you know? Like, she could have let her own chat or community pick some kind of different weapon that made it harder, but, you know, she could have still taken down the boss and whatnot, you know? I'm just saying, there was more ways for you to celebrate you to keep taking down the same boss over and over than for you to try to fake a blindfold run and then come back and then try to, you know, allegedly fake it again. Like, because in the first one, right, when she did this run, right, she tried to explain that the purpose of the first video she did was just to have like a fun time with her community, just to switch stuff up a bit, just to make it a good experience, you know, and whatnot. And it blew out of proportion because, you know, the video was posted to Reddit, and then as when Gold reacted to it, yada, 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 you know. But if that was your purpose, okay, if that was truly your purpose, you know, even if people were called out your run completely fake, you know, you should have just rolled with it and said, yeah, okay, you know, maybe I'm not so good at blindfold runs. Maybe I won't do this again. Or maybe this was just, you know, my haha blindfold run. You know, just it's fine. Just, you know, just let it be. You didn't have to try to prove everyone wrong just because, you know, you got a little bit of negativity and whatnot, you know? I'm just saying, like, she could have done stuff much more simpler, much more different, and it would still be a good time, because at the end of the day, if there are people watching you as a streamer, or like people that come back to your content, they are fine with you doing the same thing over and over and over, right? Even if you change it like sometimes a little bit for challenges and whatnot, right? They're still fine to watch you. You know, they've stuck by you. You know, this is more like a, you know, like you continuously faking your blindfold runs, just like you just like treating your community like they mean nothing to you, honestly, and whatnot. And it's very it's kind of frustrating to see, but that is in the day your choice. You want to be that, sure, you know. Yeah. Of course, I don't really know much about blindfold runs. Of, you know, if it's fake, it's fake. If it's not fake, I mean, good on you. But there was like a bajillion other options you could have done to like hype out your own community for you taking down this boss and whatnot, and stuff like that. Also, I did not like her attitude when I watched this this run of hers, her second run, because she was like, you know, anyone can take down this boss. Anyone could have done this. Anyone could have done that. Yeah, anyone could have, okay? But, you know, like, sometimes we do mistakes, okay? Sometimes I run into doors in games, okay? It happens. Like, doors are, like, my top, you know, my number one nemesis is doors, especially in horror games. Doors are my nemesis, okay? You know, like, people fumble. That's fine. You can fumble. You can, like, run into ice even though you clearly see the ice is there. It's fine. You know, you don't have to keep like acting a little bit like, I don't know, I don't know. She was a little bit haughty for me when you know, or she came across a little bit more arrogant, we'll say, when she did the second one, this one. And like I said, like, no one, because everyone is so focused on trying to figure out how she faked it, because everyone of course is going to expect for you to fake this because you faked the first one. Why wouldn't you fake your second one, right? So everyone was already expecting you to fake this. So like, you know you were under scrutiny. But yeah, she's much more animated though. Like I said, if you watch her run, you'll see that she moves her mouth more. She's like trying to say stuff, maybe, I don't know. Maybe because she keeps being able to read her chat a little bit. Maybe that's why she's keep doing that. I don't know. You would have to like look at her chat at the same time she's moving her mouth, and maybe, you know, someone wrote something like, oh, here it goes. You know, she's trying to prove that she can do the blindfold run, yada, 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 and stuff like that. I don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's fake or not. But, you know, that's for the public to decide. You know? But, like, is it really worth going through all this trouble to fake stuff? I don't think so. But, you know, you do you. It's your choice. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you had a good day, or will have a good day. Who knows? And remember, eat when you need to, sleep when you need to, hydrate when you need to, and I'll catch you again somewhere, sometime. But for now, bye-bye.